Happy Friday, everyone. It was a mild start to the day. Low temperatures this morning in the 50s across the board, and a lot of us have now jumped into the low 60s. We'll top out in the mid 60s this afternoon, but the cloud cover is unfortunately going to linger. Still staying dry. That changes tonight and into tomorrow. I'll tell you more coming up. WJTV at noon starts right now.
10 people murdered in Jackson this year. Now the Jackson City Council is hosting a special meeting on crime right now. We're also 28 days into that partial government shutdown. How Energy is pitching in to keep those furloughed workers' lights on. And JPS honors its Teacher of the Year. We'll show you the surprise celebration. Right now, Jackson leaders holding a special city council meeting to talk about the recent spike in murder in the capital city. WJTV 12 is focused on solutions to Jackson's crime rate. Here is a live look at that meeting. This is Jackson City Hall. Meeting still going on. Police chief is addressing the council right now, talking about this week's murders. They also plan to talk about the death of George Robinson. He passed away after being arrested by police earlier this week. WJTV 12's Terrence Friday will have more on the meeting coming up in our later shows. Hinds County District Attorney's Office and the Better Men Society will host a news conference later on this afternoon. They'll be talking about the recent crime here in the capital city. That meeting is set for 2 o'clock this afternoon at Hosanna Baptist Church in Jackson. Now to an update. U.S. Marshals arrest a suspect in connection to Jackson's 8th homicide of the year. Police said 60-year-old Mac Pope was found shot multiple times inside a truck on Cornett Place Wednesday night. Witnesses say someone inside another car fired shots into Pope's truck before getting away. Investigators have not yet released the name of the suspect they have arrested. We'll keep on top of that fluid situation. The Jackson pastor who was shot and killed outside his church last Sunday will be laid to rest tomorrow. Anthony Longino's funeral will be at North Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church in New Hebron. It starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. WJTV 12 is focused on solutions to Jackson's crime problem. That brings us to today's poll question. Are you confident in Jackson leaders' ability to deal with the city's crime problem? The answers are on your screen. To vote, go to focused.news. We will update those results in our newscast beginning at 4 p.m. You can also mention us on social media. We love it when you do. Temperature is expected to get below freezing later on this weekend. The state fire marshal wants you to be safe when it comes to those space heaters. Here's some safety tips. Keep space heaters away, 3 feet away at least from other items. Turn heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room, and place some space heaters on a solid, flat surface. $15,000 reward being offered for information leading to the arrest of multiple burglars. Take a look at these surveillance pictures there. Officials with the ATF say the suspects took multiple guns from Delta Auto Parts twice this month. PayPal says it'll help workers impacted by the government shutdown. The online payments company plans to offer cash advances of up to $500 for federal employees to help pay for food, gas, other everyday necessities. The average federal employee earns about $500 per week, according to the AFGE. That's the largest federal employee union, so they should know. Entergy also helping out furloughed employees. The company says they will offer flexible utility bill payment arrangements to keep your service from being disrupted. Customers can also use Entergy's online system to set future dates for payments. Partial government shutdown is now in its 28th day. President Trump and House Democrats are lobbying a new round of political jabs with no end in sight. Nicole Killian reports thousands of federal workers remain caught in the middle.
A day after President Trump canceled a military plane to carry House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Afghanistan to visit U.S. troops, her office released a statement saying the delegation was prepared to fly commercially. This morning, we learned that the administration had leaked the commercial travel plans as well.
I think the actions of the president were petty, mean-spirited.
The White House says President Trump also canceled Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin's planned trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos next week. The president and Pelosi are at odds over billions of dollars in funding to build a wall on the southern border.
I'm not for a wall. I'm not for a wall.
President Trump tweeted this morning, why would Nancy Pelosi leave the country with other Democrats on a 7-day excursion when 800,000 great people are not getting paid?
An estimated 800,000 federal workers are furloughed or working without pay. Many of them say they feel caught in the middle.
They're, playing games with each other, and we're the people who are hurting.
The TSA is also struggling with a staffing shortage as agents who are asked to work without pay have called out. Airports are bracing for even longer lines with the threat of severe weather moving across the country throughout the holiday weekend. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Nicole, thank you for that. Workers at the State Department have been told to come back to work after the agency said it found funds to pay them. Interesting. Well, make sure to check your refrigerators today. Purdue Foods issuing a national recall on more than 68,000 pounds of gluten-free chicken nuggets. Products might be contaminated with wood pieces, wood in the nuggets. The ready-to-eat nuggets have an October 25th, 2019 expiration date. Health officials warn consumers to throw those nuggets away. They might have wood in them. Well, today was a very special day for an unsuspecting Jackson Public School teacher. WJTV 12 Shay O'Connor joins us live in the studio with more on the educator who was named Teacher of the Year for the district. Shay.
That is right, Andrew. Now, JPS leaders awarded Forest Hill High School teacher Adrian McDowell with the award. Now, she has been teaching 10th grade English 2 at the school for 2 years. Faculty, staff, and students say she knows how to get students engaged in learning. Now, I spoke with Ms. McDowell after she received the award.
Nothing that I ever would have, thought that I could ever achieve as a teacher, because all I do is just come in, do my job, try to do my best to make sure my scholars know everything that they need to know so they can pass the test. That's really my only focus. So the award coming along with it, I guess, is just icing on the cake.
Like, you can't go wrong with her. Sometimes I will admit, sometimes I have my days. We all have our days. But overall, she's a very good teacher. One of the best English teachers I've ever had, to be honest.
And although Ms. McDowell has only taught with Forest Hill High School for 2 years, she tells me she's been teaching with the district for 11 years. And from all of us at WJTV 12, we would just like to congratulate her. I'm so excited for her, Andrew.
Absolutely. English teacher everybody wants to get. Thank you so much for that, yes. Shay O'Connor. Well, good news for Mississippians. The graduation rate in our state has hit a new record. Mississippi graduates 84% of its students, a share higher than ever before. That mark is also equal to the most recent recorded national graduation rate of 84%. So we are right on average, but still some room for improvement there. Graduation rate for students with disabilities also rose from last year. So that is some excellent news. Well, today Jackson State University hosted its annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Convocation. Lift every voice. Students were exempt from classes to attend that ceremony held in the Rose E. McCoy Auditorium. This year's guest speaker was Lottie Joyner, the editor-in-chief of The Crisis magazine. Well, coming up, the Muppet State Meridian, where you can see some of Jim Henson's most beloved creations. And later, new evidence in the Cohen case while the House Intelligence Committee is vowing an in-depth investigation. But for now, Kelly Scott.
Yes, it was a warm start to the day. Still cloudy and gloomy out there, but we will remain dry as we wrap up your work week. Storms head this way late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Even some of them could be severe. I'll break down that threat and tell you about the Arctic blast, all coming up next.
Tonight on WJTV 12, we travel with Walt Grayson to the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Extravaganza going on in Meridian. We'll be taking a look at the big Jim Henson exhibition there right now. Jim Henson spent his childhood, of course, in Leland, Mississippi. Kermit the Frog born in Deer Creek. The inspiration for his creation, Kermit, came from that boyhood in the Delta. Be sure to tune in tonight at 6 right here on WJTV 12. Jim Henson made so many people happy. Kelly Scott.
Absolutely. And what makes me happy is that it's Friday, but we do have some active weather that we're expecting, not only here in Mississippi, but across the United States. Just look at all these warnings and advisories, mainly winter weather advisories and warnings from the central to northern plains through the Midwest up into the Northeast, high wind warnings across the southern plains. And we here in Mississippi are expecting some active weather tomorrow morning. We'll dive into that in just a bit. But as of right now, here's the culprit in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we have this energy, a trough that continues to dig, and that's going to support some severe storms at the surface, area of low pressure. We have the warm front, the cold front as well. That will be headed our way later tonight and into tomorrow morning. But as of right now, it's just thick cloud cover out there. It is another gloomy day, another day where we're not seeing any sunshine, but no rain to detect. And you can see that gloomy picture on our tower camera. Current temperatures, though, upper 50s, low 60s, not too shabby for January. It was a mild start to the day, and we've warmed up about 10 degrees for the most part, even with the cloud cover. I think most of us will climb a few more degrees, hitting the mid-60 mark by this afternoon. And tonight, temperatures aren't going to drop a whole lot, but we will be seeing some of those showers and storms work in. Now, the main time frame for the severe weather threat will begin tomorrow morning around 4 a.m. and continue into the lunchtime hour. Main concern going to be damaging wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or greater. We have been upgraded to a slight risk for the entire viewing area. Now, that's 2 out of 5 on the severe weather threat scale. And although the high winds will be our primary concern, I still think a few isolated tornadoes along that line is still going to be possible tomorrow morning. Let's put it in motion, show you the forecast model. By late tonight, 11 around midnight, we'll see some of those showers and thunderstorms slowly but surely working in. And then here's the main event. Right before sunrise, we'll be seeing some of these stronger storms along the line approach from the west, cross the Mississippi River. Impacts will be felt here in the metro anywhere from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. pushing east of I-55 by the late morning hours, impacting the Pine Belt by that time. And then by the afternoon, completely out of our hair. We'll still have to deal with some isolated light showers during the second half of the day in the cloud cover. Even a few flurries possible, especially north of I-20 by tomorrow night. But any flurries that we see, not going to cause any impacts on the roadways. That is nothing to worry about. As for rainfall, anywhere from an inch to maybe even some isolated spots closer to 2 inches, really adding on those totals. And then after the rain tapers off, the cold air is going to rush in. This is going to be the coldest air we've seen all season. By Sunday afternoon, high temperatures upper 30s to low 40s, and then plummeting overnight to start next week, Monday morning, mid 20s, feeling even colder with the wind chills. So in preparation of this extreme cold, we want to give you some tips. Most importantly, Sunday night, let your faucets drip. We do not want any busted pipes. Bring your pets inside, protect your plants, and also check on the elderly and the disabled. Make sure their heat is working properly and all of those good things. We will see the sunshine return come Sunday afternoon and into Monday. Those 2 days, Andrew, looking absolutely beautiful, although a little chilly. But then by Tuesday and Wednesday, more rain, another storm system, and back to the cloud cover and the gloomy conditions.
This is kind of the pits there.
I know, this whole month has kind of been the pits weather-wise for us, and I've been the bearer of bad news, so I apologize.
There's an entire bank of monitors by my desk. It has a shot of the Mississippi River and the bridge, and it's just gray. It was really bringing me down.
I need some sunshine in my life.
Need a little something. We have to take a break, but first, here's a look at what's coming up next on WJTV 12 at noon.
New reports that President Trump instructed his former personal attorney to lie to Congress. I'm Mo Lelenghi at the White House with the president's firm denials.
12:17 here, the new chairman of the House Intelligence Committee vows to investigate a new report. As Mo Lelenghi lets us know, it says President Trump instructed his personal attorney to lie to Congress.
Michael Cohen admitted last November he lied to Congress when he said talks to build a Trump Tower in Moscow ended 6 months earlier than they actually did. Now, BuzzFeed reports special counsel Robert Mueller has uncovered evidence the president personally instructed Cohen to lie. 2 law enforcement sources say they uncovered the request to lie through Trump Organization documents and multiple interviews with witnesses as part of the special counsel's investigation into Russian election meddling. Cohen reportedly verified the claims. The BuzzFeed report also says the president received at least 10 personal updates from Cohen on the status of the Moscow project, even as he repeatedly denied having any business dealings with Russia.
First of all, I don't know Putin, have no business whatsoever with Russia. Have nothing to do with Russia.
He backtracked those statements last year.
We had a position to possibly do a deal to build a building of some kind in Moscow. I decided not to do it.
President Trump tweeted this morning that Michael Cohen is lying in an effort to reduce his jail time. Cohen faces 3 years in prison for campaign finance violations. Democrat Mark Warner is part of the bipartisan Senate committee investigating the 2016 election.
Clearly, Mr. Cohen has got a checkered history, so let's see what was really the case.
Cohen is scheduled to testify before Congress next month. Mo Lelenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Well, still ahead, wasteful. How does taste? We'll see how a new app is helping unwanted food get to the people who need it. You're watching WJTV 12 at noon. Each year, the average American family throws away more than $2,000 worth of food. As Gwen Baumgartner reports, a free phone app is working to eliminate the waste one post at a time.
About 40% of the food Americans buy ends up in the trash. Food waste is a global problem, and now an American living in Britain is trying to change that. Sasha Celestial One started the app Olio 3 years ago.
Anyone who has food they're not going to eat just takes a picture and uploads it, and then it immediately alerts people nearby that delicious food's available.
From there, anyone on the app can claim the free food and arrange a time and place for pickup.
As you're scrolling through, it really is a hodgepodge of items.
It is. In fact, that's what Olio means.
Postings range from bananas, olive oil, even a bottle of champagne. The app is now in 49 countries, including the U.S.
The joy of giving something of value to another human it feels really special.
She says it's an easy resource for low-income families or college students, like Nicole, who picks up free food to help make ends meet.
I've got the items that you requested on the app. So this is for you.
Syra Tambu started using the app last year to donate her extra food.
If you've got the item there, within a minute or so it can be posted, and within minutes as well you can have somebody coming to collect it.
I would encourage anyone who's maybe a bit skeptical to add something to the app and wait for the magic to happen.
She says that magic is already being shared by more than 1 million users. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, London.
I am a little skeptical there. The company also looking for ways to become profitable. So more on that. 12:23, back over to Kelly.
Yes, well, tomorrow we have the MLK Day Parade. It starts at 10 a.m. here in Jackson. Good news is the rain will be moving out. Still a few sprinkles possible. It will be breezy with temperatures in the 60s and then plummeting as we head into the afternoon. Final check, your 8-day forecast is up right after this. Gloomy and dry for the rest of today. Some strong storms are possible tomorrow morning, so stay weather aware and updated with us. That threat will end by tomorrow afternoon, and then cold air really moving in, Andrew, by the second half of the weekend.
Bracing start to our week. Thank
Arctic Blast.
Arctic Blast. Remember, stay updated with WJTV.com. But for now, Anthony Howard has this week's Live It Local.